Ayo, it is Corey, Jagon, Marco back with another episode of the Dodcats, and that is not a typo or a misspeak because as you can see here, we've got Milo as our guest star, and he is one photogenic, handsome, and very happy right now cat. Um, we'll see if he sticks around for much longer. I can tell you this is already the second take because I mistakenly started going over a match that I've already won over on the previous Dodcast. And yeah, so he might just get a little bit antsy and not want to sit here for much longer. But so far, he seems to be pretty content with this seat. But yeah, anyways, this is season 4, technically week 1 now. The previous episode was a preseason week. Going to be going over the matches on Railyard B2, the results, and then going over predictions for week 2, which is Harrington, which is coming up real soon because I'm recording this on Friday. I can tell you I did not get to cast as many matches as I might normally get to cast due to, not necessarily scheduling conflicts, but we had a match at 9 Eastern on default day, which isn't typical for us, so we missed out on a few chances to cast there, and then other matches that were just scheduled at the same time ended up not being able to do one or the other, so not as many direct experience when it comes to knowing how these matches went, but hopefully I'll be able to extrapolate a little bit about it from the screenshots. So we're not going to go over Romario and 3H because I just did that, and I also did it a week ago. Isn't that right, buddy? Look at you. You can see yourself, and you're not loving that, it seems like. Or maybe you are. You're a handsome cat. What can I say? All right, so just getting right into it in silver. Right off the bat, Spicy versus the Saab Appreciation Society. As you can see there, Spicy Butthole, 202 to 91 in the end. They were able to take it. I did cast this match, so I actually do have direct experience in how things went down with this one. I know in my predictions, I think I might have predicted it being right around this. I can't say for sure, but I want to say it was like I said 110, and it ended up being 111 was the difference. Or maybe it was like this one I said 60. Maybe I'm thinking of the over ICAP match, but just looking at the screenshots there, you can see first half here, Saab on Allies, Scotty, really, really good game on the Garand there. Just, top frag. Toki ends up with 29 second top fragging on the Sniper, also played really, really well. They were the two big guns here for Saab. Nightmare not sniping, so all the talk about Nightmare versus Stealth ended up being for naught, but I get it. He doesn't. Sniping is boring as hell, dude. Like, just ask Jules. Jules thought he wanted to snipe this season, and then he played a couple scrims, and then he was like, "Why does anyone want to snipe? It's fucking boring." It can be fun, like if you're just kind of like not worried about winning, and you're just gonna like run around and do whatever you want and pick up other guns the way that I have done at times. That can make it fun. But if you're like sniping in a high pressure, high intensity situation where you're really trying not to lose the game, it's boring. You're just kind of sitting there. So yeah, I get Nightmare not sniping. JN with 16 on Allies, but JN had a lot of nice streaks, especially in the second half on Axis, carring train, which I really like to see. Kingyo with 20. Kingyo also had a really good game on Axis, I believe. Manor with 21, and then on the Spicy Butthole size, they won this half by 140, by the way. Just picking up right where they left off. You have the dynamic duo on the rifles with Die Life, Dillard, 34 and 32 apiece. Laura with 24, Stealth with 27, which I think that's more of a product of just how few kills there were left for him to get. Twisco and Train with 15, and then I believe this has got to be Stamp with 36 top fragging on this half, just locking down apartments, really. Die Life was kind of rotating between apartments and long, and just kind of getting... he was definitely getting a lot of kills from lower apps, which is kind of like his sweet spot on this half of this map, and then with Dillard going 4-way. But, those are the guys... Like, this is... You really don't want to run into these three guys in a match. Like, that's just not going to be fun right there. And then when you got a heavy adding 36 kills on the STG, too, like, that's tough to beat. You don't want to have to deal with that under any circumstances, but in particular when that's what you're expecting from the team. Like, these are the guys that are going to perform. We need to control that, and then you just can't. But yeah, second half, so Saab looked even better this half. This is one instance of the map playing more Axis-sided for a match. It was very inconsistent which side turned out to be the favored side, though, to be honest with you. I don't have any bonus insight if I had to pick which side, like, you got to play this one half for $1 million and you have to win the half. Which side do you pick on Railyard B2? I'm not sure. I'm still not sure. I would have said Allies, but then there was a couple games where it played way better on X's side. So, but as you can see for Saab, Kingyo with 30, really, really good half. Getting back into the swing of things, playing consistently. As I said, Yanni, 27 and 23. Carring Train, which is an old school strat. You used to see more often on Railroad 1, guys taking the car train, guys taking a bar train. You don't really see it anymore, but it was very fun to watch a guy take a car through train and do some damage with it. Manor with 30 on the STG, really, really good half there again. If you get more than like 25 kills with the STG, you can be very happy with it. But, getting 30 doesn't happen all that much in this day and age. Toki with 18 and Nightmare with 28 on the other STG. Again, getting to play on other classes. Like, I can tell you, he's a sniper, and he's going to be getting into the swing of things with other weapons. If you think you're going to find Nightmare going negative in another couple weeks on any other class, you're in for a very rough and rude awakening when the time comes. Because if he's going to be full-time playing as a heavy or as a rifle or anything, eventually he's going to be getting the same number of kills with those guns as he was with a sniper. Like, no one's escaping a quicker death just because he's heavying now. It's just going to be a matter of him playing with that class more often, getting to the point where he has the reps of the sniper rifle again in close proximity to actually playing these matches. But yeah, they won this half. Like, they looked much, much better, but eventually they just couldn't get the caps rolling in time, and then Spicy Butthole were able to get mid back and be threatening caps themselves, and it just kind of, got out of hand from there. But for Spicy, again, Die Life got to car bar here and did exactly what a car bar has to do. He top fragged. He had 75 kills overall. Like, I always said 70 kills. If you car bar, you better at least get 70 kills. Obviously there's some maps where that's not going to happen, but typically if you car bar, you should top frag, and he did. He came through big time with 75 kills overall. Clearly the MVP of that game. Dillard was 68, or was it 66? 66 maybe? I forget that he had 32 first half. 32 first half, yeah, 66. So again, but those guys just dominated everywhere. Stealth with 25 here. He ended up switching to the Tommy gun to get that mobility, trying to cap out, being able to hold when they did have their backs against the wall for cap out situations, which is a good idea. And something that I think, you should see snipers do more often. I think, you saw me doing it on Lennon in one of the finals matches, for sure, if not both of them against T3, where it's like, if you're just not able to get any sort of map control as with the sniper rifle, then why bother just standing there, like, and dying? There's no point. Pick up a gun with a grenade and go get the grenade kills that you can get in certain spots on maps, and don't just be like, well, I'm the sniper, I need to snipe. This is smart. This is an experienced sniper play to be like, I'm not helping my team as much as I could be. I need to be more mobile. I can make use of these nades. I'm going to go do other shit, and he did. And it worked out for him. 25 and 29 there. Stamp 22, Laura 20, and then Twist and Train Car with 17. Overall, just Spicy Butthole doing Spicy Butthole things, getting a big win there over Saab. I'm pretty sure it went basically the way I predicted it to go, score-wise, and, like, who would likely be the top frag between Die Life, Dillard, and Stealth. It usually comes down to one of those three, and then Stamp on Axis side had actually, like, the second highest kill total of any of the halves, which is a very good sign for them going forward. So where is the next silver matchup here? I'll do that one last. Is that all the silver games, really? Oh, because one of them's already done. I almost fucked up again. It's fine. So this game I did not get to cast. Washed Up versus Shut Up. We're trying. 309 to 75 for Washed Up. A big, big win for them. Washed Up has a pretty compelling team, honestly. Like, this team could be a dark horse. I mean, if you want to call it dark horse. I think everybody knows who's good in this game at this point. There's certainly people who improve and are still capable of improving. But you look at a team, you can kind of tell what you're going to expect from them. You look at Washed Up, like, that's a lot of talent on that team. So I don't think necessarily dark horse is the word for it. But, you got PB on the team. He's, like, right there. What did he get? 30 and 38, 68 kills. I'm pretty sure that's who you would expect to top frag for this team. But you've got a lot of other good players. Just look at that. Pro Star. I mean, Cody getting more and more back into his old prime Pro Star self. The more that he plays, the better and better he's going to get. Hopper on 29 with the bar. Casino Royale, another old school, really, really strong rifle, and he's getting more and more reps. Bromley on the sniper rifle, 26 and 19. PB 30, as I said, and then 21 on War Within. And the thing is, with War Within, he can play any class. He was rifling this week. I don't think that we've seen him rifling in matches at all since he's been back. Certainly in the league, he was heavying, and usually in their top 2 or 3 fraggers always, and then he was sniping, and usually in his top 2 or 3 fraggers always. He's kind of pulling a Jaginator and just different class each season. Wants to do it all, and he's succeeding so far. They won this half by 36. So that's like 3.5 caps. Really, really convincing Allied side win there. It looks like they won both halves anyways. But for Shut Up, We're Trying. Illusion, of course, the big gun of the team, dropping 42 there on the car. You know, what do you expect? That's what he's going to do. He's really, really strong with both rifles. I expect he had pretty close to that in the other half, too, with the Garand. Nicholson with 27 was next in line. Aimtech with 25 on the sniper rifle. You know, I mean, it is what it is when you're getting capped on that much. It's not like he was sitting in double windows or anything and not able to get kills. They were just kind of getting wrecked at this point. Bo with 11, Big Willie Dose with 14, and Trance with 21, another player who's been around for a while, but I don't think has really played, certainly not since I've been back. I didn't really see him play at all. Certainly not much, but I don't think at all. And he will continue to get better and better as he gets more reps. And then the other half here, 152 to 54, like basically a 100-point win. PB, top frags overall, got to be the MVP of that game. 68 total, 38 with the car. War Within, 27 and 23 with the car. Pro Star, 26 on the STG. Bromley, 27 and 14 on the sniper. Again, a guy who can play any class. Certainly all the rifles really, really well. Not sure how much he's heavied over the years, but I'm pretty sure he could. Hopper, 20 and 23. Casino, 14 and 26. I'm guessing going train, pretty sure. Which, you know, he had over 20 kills with the Garand going train. You don't see a lot of train car players with, 25-ish kills other than Burn, because he's a freak. But yeah, just really, really strong Axis half again. And for Shut Up, We're Trying. Illusion, like I said, as you can expect, 33 this half. He actually top fragged for the game with, 75 there overall? 75 kills overall, so... a battle of the star rifles there. Illusion and the frag total came out on top, but PB comes out on top with the W, which is obviously more important. Max 30 kills on the sniper rifle there. Probably got to be a little more mobile on Allied side. You're not just getting stuck at sandbag spawn. It's certainly easier to cap out. So I'm guessing that the cap outs were coming a little bit easier to where they weren't stuck holding a spawn. The way they would have been in that first half, where a sniper gets kind of locked down and there's no way to really find those kills. 20 kills on Nicholson, 22 on Trance. Again, I expect he will just continue to get better and better. And then Big Willie Dose with 16 and G with 13 on the bars. It is what it is when you're just getting the smoke pushed up your ass. What are you going to do? You can't even get into apartments to try to get a rhythm going. It's going to be tough to really put up a good score when you're pushed back to your spawn the whole game, which it looks like Washed Up did. Pure speculation, because I didn't get to see this game at all, but just based on the scores and then the overall score, I would guess that there was, this was kind of like we're trying to hold against caps. If we can hold off and then maybe kill 4 of them without losing somebody, maybe we can get on mid, and then it's just a coin flip. Does the shot hit on the guy that's prone diving out of ticket, or prone diving out of double doors on your first flag? It really can be such a coin flip when it comes down to breaking out of those situations and trying to find your way to push up through the map and get some offense in. So, nothing to hang the head about for Shut Up, We're Trying. Washed Up, I suspect, will be one of the final 4 teams when it comes to the semifinals in silver, barring crazy things like not having the same roster, losing a player, one of their best players, whatever. There's always crazy things, upsets, etc., but I would think that that's one of the teams that's going to be left over when all is said and done. And then for the last matchup, the one that I just casted Wednesday night, Insomniac Gamers, who made a very strong case for the favorites to be the silver champ with this game. 214 over Nogo with 112. a 102-point win there, so another pretty good size, like 2.5 caps. So of course, you're gonna see a common theme here in who the players are performing, because we've been here before, we've seen the same guys do it. The MVP of the game ended up being Sean Ality, who, happy birthday to him today as well. I don't often get to do Dodcasts on DoD players' birthdays that I know of, but it is Sean's birthday, so happy birthday to him. He had 28 here with the car, but don't worry. Had like a hole in train with 12, 21 on hip. He had a lot of crazy fucking car shots, though. I caught a couple of them on the cast. Like, whenever I went to him, he was hitting ridiculous car shots. Riv Untering 4-way with 24, Tony 9 on the STG with 26, and then Pibian, which I think, Sean is the MVP. I think Pibian's more the story of this game. So a guy who I've seen snipe many times before, watched him snipe on land, was a good sniper back in the day, friends with all the Nox guys who, if you know anything about DoD, you know those guys love DoD, and they played a whole lot of it. River Oyster right there is another Nox guy. Shifty Powers, Money B, Sinister, Body technically, although I think he was from somewhere else, but is still a Nox guy. Slip, all these really good players from over the years, and Pibian was a member of that same group, coming back into the game after God knows how many years. I know he was still playing CS, but 42 kills on Axis side sniping, immediately coming out looking really fucking good, and making this team appear even stronger than anyone could have realized, because I was saying in the preseason preview stuff, like, who's going to snipe for this team? Is it going to be Pibian? How much has he really played? Like, is he going to be in mid-season form right away? That question was answered in spades immediately with that 42 app on Axis. So that's, again, a scary thing for the rest of Silver when you look at Insomniac's roster and you add in a sniper that wasn't there before the season. You couldn't have looked at that roster unless you knew already and been like, oh, well, okay, they've got their sniper. Now everybody knows what, some of us already did know, that Pibian is really fucking good at sniping. And on the no-go side, of course, J-Rod with 34. J-Rod doing J-Rod things, just running around, spinning in circles, hitting flick shots and headshotting people and not liking the car, but picking up snipers and going on 10-kill streaks to hold on for a cap out. That actually happened in this half in specific. I think he held... Actually, they might not have even capped out there. He might have just held their last flag for a really long time. But Insomnia did a perfect job defending their second. That was kind of the common theme. They were able to continuously get one of the flags, but then Insomnia did a good job of consolidating their resources and delegating out to the flag that was going to be really necessary to defend ahead of time, rather than it being like, oh, 3 people went here, 3 people went there, we could have used one more guy over here, now we got capped on. So, again, good team play shown by Insomnia there as well. Nogo actually won the frag battle in the end too, which I wouldn't have guessed, but Apple with a really strong half there of 33. He actually ended up Garand STGing, I think, which is always a fun class combination. Spoon, 29 kills on the bar, one of the strongest heavies in the division. You know that this guy is going to be dropping bombs most of the time. Like, I don't think Nogo has anything to be upset about losing this match, because I think Insomnia is a top 2 team in the division, but also these guys are all going to continue to get better as they get more reps in together. Sapphire with 15. Dedro started off sniping and then switched, and it was the best move. Like, again, another good move by somebody on the sniper rifle to not just be like, I'm the sniper, I'm going to grind it out. Maybe I'll get positive, maybe I won't. He immediately was like, I'm not feeling it. Matthew, take the sniper rifle, I'm going to move on to the STG. And he went from, I think he had 2 kills after a few minutes to, managing to pull off 5 times as many kills in the same amount of time for the second half. And then Matthew picked up that sniper, ended up with 28. Of course, Matthew's, a super utility guy. He can play anything, and he can play it well with every class. So, very useful player to have on that roster, and on any roster for that matter. But this was what I was referring to about Sean. As you can see right there, 44 kills on the Garand. It just seemed like the death notice was just filled up with Sean Ality at all times. On Allied side, he was just running through mid and 4-way, and whichever direction he chose to go kill, everybody did. Just like that. So he ended up top fragging overall with 72. Pib was right behind him with 70, but You got to give it to Sean with that overall performance on the rifles. Snipers are highly underappreciated in general, too. I get it. You'd think I would have given it to the sniper to give the sniper a few licks, but not this time. Still, Pibian 28 and 26 on Allies. Quite a good game there overall. 70 kills in his first game back in a league in DOD, looking so sharp. Riv and 9 on the bars had, just a perfect Allied half bar apartments on a railroad map performance. 34 and 16 for Riv, 30 and 25 for 9 in the more passive roles, still getting to 30 there, though. Good teamwork by the two of them. They never really gave up apartments. There's nothing that No-Go could do about it. They did show some signs of life as things went on. Again, I think they did cap out once, and they had threatened to cap out another time. Pibian had a amazing, smart play. You don't expect to have a sniper in the back of four-way when you're an Axis side team going to cap mid, but there Pibian was. He had pushed all the way through four-way, got the call, shit was going down. He waited, he broke it, got 4 kills in total, took it from them getting mid-capped on and maybe potentially turning into a cap against them to Insomnia reversing it and capping back themselves. So really smart play by him there. Hypnotic with 20, and Nick had like a hole and Train 17. As you can see, 43 more kills there for Insomnia that half. So again, more evidence for the Allied sidedness. I think that would be the consensus overall for this map, but it can go the other direction very easily, let me tell you. And then for No-Go, J-Rod with 29, J-Rod top frags overall, that's what you would expect. Spoon with 26 would have been next. Matthew 22, Apple with 20, he was on the STG, certainly for a large chunk of that half. Dedro 21, actually sniping for the majority of this half. And Saf with 12, going Train. There was a lot of class switching going on and route switching, I think, throughout this half, but No-Go was just, for the most part, backs against the wall and having to defend. It's not fun having to play a game it can be if it works out in your favor. If you are defending that whole time and you continue to prevent cap-outs and then you, turn it back into a cap yourself, that can be fun. And it, can make for some interesting movie clips. I know there's one in particular I'm thinking of that Booten had in a cast last season where, they were defending on Allied side Lennon for a long time, and then he got 3 kills at his own first flag, then pushed through well, got 3 kills there, and then pushed to blue room and got a fast 4K. So yeah, but in general, when you're just holding your last 2 flags forever, not a fun game, not something conducive to people going positive. But No-Go will put in the time to scrimming whenever they can, I know, so they're just going to keep getting better. First match of the season, nothing to really worry about, just gotta keep grinding away the hours, which I know No-Go will do. They're a team that is not afraid to scrim. Even if they've only got 3 or 4 of their starters, they're going to find some ringers and they're going to go at it. So, oh, you a sleepy kitty, aren't you, Milo? I'm surprised you can sleep with me talking so loud. I have a very loud voice, and I don't shut up. So, 214 to 112 there for Insomniac Gamers, getting the big first win and looking like quite possibly the favorite. I mean, really, man, I don't know. I want to see the matchup between them and Romario. I think that's going to be a really fun game. I think 3H, they lost by 70 here, which is not even, you look at what the other losses were, that's a close game compared to the other losses. So that's with, having third backup playing there going train car. I think 3H is another team that is going to be a force to be reckoned with when all is said and done. But yeah, we'll see how things go with all that. Moving on over to the gold side of things on the recap side. So Thunder versus Clinic. Good game to Clinic. 273 to 73 it ended up. Just look at the screenshots here. Jules with 35. G-Code, Spec Ops there with 36. That's warm milk. Sorry, I really needed that drink. Oh, it just said my phone disconnected for some reason. That's annoying. Oh, now it's reconnected. Okay, all good. Yeah, Toxinator with 31. Those were the big 3 there. John Gale sniping, 24. The Jaganator with 20. And Ace with 21 going train. On the Clinic side, Insom with 29, of course. I mean, all these guys are just so good. This is a team that is ridiculous from top to bottom. It's just a matter of how much they're playing, I think, when it comes down to it. I mean, this is obviously just a pain in the ass of a matchup dealing with Toxinator and Jules in general. That's a pain in the ass, but 29 on Insom, 20 on Carp. I know Carp had a few movie clips for sure. I know Slav had a couple movie clips for sure. I know Insom at least had a couple movie clips. I think Vic had like a 4K pushing Dark Hall, and I think Sam had a 4K pushing 4-way as well. But yeah, we won that half there on Allied side. Our Axis side, they were up our ass for the majority of the half. Like, I think we ended up getting a cap late in the half to turn it around like this. But I know we were defending against a cap out for, I swear to God, like 10 minutes straight. Like, my score, I don't know how I ended up positive, because I know at one point I looked and I was like fucking 8-16 or something. Both halves, I only salvaged my score being okay by getting like fast 4Ks. That's it. Like, I got one movie clip each half to make me look like I had a good half in the end. But again, Toxinator 32, Jules 31, John Gale, really good game sniping there. Filling in with the little class swap that we wanted to do here to kind of be able to level out the, the aggression and the defense. Have John on the sniper rifle to really be able to hold things down, and then kind of set me loose to be able to try and go and get one of those, get the fast 3Ks, the fast 4Ks on the flanks wherever I can. Jules, of course, 31, as the Bear said in that one cast, best heavy in gold, and then he immediately got raped by somebody on T3. I don't remember who it was, but that clip is hilarious if you haven't seen it. Ace with 19 going long, and Grant 13 going train this half. And then on the clinic side of things, Carpenter, top fragger, 29 and 18. I can't stress it enough. I think he is a top 3 sniper in DOD. Certainly, if Nightmare's not sniping, too. Like, that makes it an even more ironclad case. And I know that he had numerous, like, extensive kill streaks against us. I know there was one point where, like, I pushed up 4-way, he killed me, and then he got a double kill on Grant and Tox in 4-way, and then, like, got a pistol kill somewhere else, and then, like, picked up a car and went and got a few more at Sandbag. Like, just never-ending kills. 21 on Vic in Apartments, just holding shit down in Apartments, him and Alan. Alan with 16. Candy with 22, going predominantly train. I know Grant was pretty upset by the way that Candyman pooped on him in train, which I get. I've gone train against Sam before, and he is one of the best train players and third rifles in the game for a reason, And that's the thing with this team. Like, I know we both were talking about in pregame, like, how much we've been playing CS lately. I think, they were a team that they used to be, like, really, really good about scrimming all the time, and that made them even more dangerous than they are just at a base, because they are all such good players. Like, these are all guys that can very easily have an 80-kill game, just like that. And when it happens at the same time, like, good luck winning. We ran into a clinic like that on Anzio in Season 2, and we lost to them on Anzio, a map that we felt unbeatable on forever. And they were able to just lay the smackdown on us. Everybody was playing well for them. They looked so sharp. In this game, they were putting it on us, and we were thankfully able to break out of it and end up getting a cap out to kind of put us back to even, and then get mid off the next initial and be able to make it, us win the Axis half there in the end. But, yeah, good game to Clinic. This is a team that, I know, obviously they're, like, the best. If you're going to talk about DoD history in regards to KTP, like, they're the best silver team in KTP history. This lineup, I know they have Element on the team. Now, I'm not sure, is Element supposed to, like, be playing? Does he want to be active or whatever? If you throw Element onto this roster somewhere, like, that is a guy who was the best player, arguably, on a gold team for all 3 of the first 3 seasons. So that's another way to bolster this team in gold. I know they don't love playing in gold. Like, I get it, too. Like, I know there were some teams that were kind of, like, going up against each other in a voting situation, I would imagine, for who's going to get moved up and who's going to stay in silver. And it sucks, like, it sucks to have to move up when you don't necessarily want to. And especially when you didn't win, like, they didn't win silver last season, so they shouldn't have had to move up. But however the vote turned out in the end, obviously they ended up in gold. They did make some roster moves to try to, get themselves more ready for a gold season. And, I just think it'll come down to how much they feel like playing and scrimming. I understand not wanting to scrim. I don't want to scrim, to be honest with you. and I haven't been. So I get it, but I expect Clinic will be just fine going forward. They're all such good players and good dudes. Even more importantly, it's just a matter of how consistent they're playing and what lineup they're able to put out every week. If Element's going to get in there, that bodes really well for them. So we'll see what happens going forward with that. But yeah, that was 273-73 over Clinic. I didn't get to see this game, NSA versus Chill Pill. It ended up pretty close, but I do believe NSA was missing a starter. Yeah, it looks like Kayla was playing here. But still, I mean, really good effort in the first game here for Chill Pill. I said I thought that they had a very sneaky good team looking at the lineup, but so they lose by 24 here. Not a bad way to start off against the perennial finalists in NSA. Looks like PDX had 30, Leo with 17, 29 on Nick, of course, 21 on Bud, 20 on Taylor, 8 on Caleb going train, I would imagine. He is a trained player always. Wow, Arachnid with basically a 2-1 KD there on Allied side. That's pretty crazy that they both ended up with good scores like that. You don't see that a lot out of snipers when it's like a map where you're dealing directly with the sniper. But I guess on this map you can kind of deal with just controlling the rest of the other 5 players. Like you can hold angles where you don't have to deal with the sniper. So yeah, that can make more sense there than both ending up with like 30 kills. Colin Timo there with 27, of course, one of the most consistent players in the game. Brandon Newton as well, 22. Gall 22. Oh, uh-oh. You hear some noises? It's okay. It's just the washing machine or something. Chi 18 and 16, and Baron 19 and 20 there. And then on to the other half. Is this it? Yes, it is. Let's see here. PDX 29. So it looks like PDX ended up top fragging overall. Of course, it's PDX. 26 on Taylor, 25 on Leo, 23 on Nick, 16 on Bud, and 8 on Bilbasad going train. And then for Chill Pill, so it looks like Allied side was the strong side in this game, by the way. Continuing on that theme, it seems to be Allied side more than anything. But, oh yeah, Chi with the top frag here for Chill Pill. 29 and 22, nicely done there for him. 27 on Gall, 20 on Timo, 22 on Booten, 22 on Arachnid again. Going positive there against Nick Patton is no easy task, let me tell you. And especially if Nick's also having a good game, like, you still got to deal with the sniper sometimes, so it's not like you can just totally avoid each other forever. And, yeah, then Baron and Train with 11. You know, I didn't get to see this game at all, so I honestly have no idea what happened. I'm not sure who NSA would be missing. Is it Debo? Is P12 supposed to be playing? I honestly don't know for sure, but we will see going forward what goes on with this team, if they're going to pick somebody up to kind of fill out another roster space to keep the activity level or what. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I mean, you know what to expect from this team. They're going to win all or like 99% of their matches anyways, and more importantly than what happens during the regular season, come playoffs, good luck beating them in a best of 3. They have a very deep map pool, and you're going to have to eliminate a map you like always, so which is even rougher. But yeah, so 24-point win there for NSA in their inaugural match of this season up against Chill Pill there, with a good first match against the toughest team to play against, period, in gold. And then the last one to do, as I'm sure I'm just taking way too long to do this recap, this was the match that I casted, Icy Hot versus Over. Icy Hot ends up winning 209-62, 147-point win there in the end. Is this first half? No, it's not. So first half here, let's just start off with Over. So I said, is Caffrey going to play? Is Caffrey going to play? Caffrey played, and Caffrey looked like he has not stopped. He just kept playing DOD for this whole time. Like, while we all thought Caffrey wasn't playing, he never missed a beat, because he had 39 kills on Axis. And let me tell you something, Icy Hot was in pretty bad shape at times. Over looked like they were just going to, like, really stick it to him here. Icy Hot did end up managing to find the holes and to get the cap outs necessary to end up not losing their Allied side. Obviously, they win by like 60 there. Certainly helpful is Vertex with a 41. but Mata as well on over. 30 kills, sniping axis side, looking great. Saka with 19, Till with 21, Kum with 13 going train, and Ana and Long with 16. They did a really good job of just isolating Long. Like, I mentioned it during the cast, I think, where every time I went to Ana, it was like she was just getting hit by nades from, like, multiple places. Like, she had no way to find a seam through to Blue Room or into apartments, which I know is very frustrating when you're rifling Long. But the other side for Icyat, Vertex with 41, 29 on Bees, 28 on Jesse, 22 on Justin Lynch, who was playing for them this week, which I think is a really good thing for Icyat. He's such a beast. Being able to just throw a Justin Lynch in for whoever's missing is quite nice. They were missing Sick, but they didn't miss a beat because Justin Lynch is really fucking good. Hildy with 17, Tony with 15, and then, yeah, so they won by like 60 that half, Allied side. And then going into the second half, Casey again, top frag there, 36. So he was clearly the MVP overall, but really good halves all around here. Tony ended up in train there with 18, but then you had 30 on Justin on the Stas. Oh, we've got another cat here. Karadak. Min, what's up, buddy? You want to come hang out? I know you'll be purring. Yes, you will. So, 36 on Vertex, 33 on Hildy, a much better half here on Axis. Again, on Allied side, he was kind of just getting pinned down a lot, but really brought it back on Axis side. Had some explosive streaks that helped Icyat not have to deal with many problems at all defensively. Jesse with 32, Mitch with 34. That Unter might as well be a car in his hands, or a bar, because it's basically a laser beam to him, truly. Oh, you silly cat. Mitch, just his aim is so good that the Unter is, it might as well be a bar. Like, he's going to hit you in the head, so it's going to kill you in one shot. It doesn't matter anything beyond that. If you're getting hit in the head by an Unter, with that rate of fire and the lack of recoil, like, that's all it takes. Just having a little bit of good aim to use that Unter of pain. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. You stepping on some keys because you want to get at that energy drink. So, yeah. Oh, it actually switched the screenshots. I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know that was a thing. Look at that. I'm learning from cats. Oh, wow. So they actually ended up top fragging them by 42 there, too. So that's a pretty dominant half. But for over, he had 26 on Mata. Mata with just a really good game overall, which it spells good news for over going forward. I think that this team is going to get better. I really do. And with Caffrey back especially. I think this is a very different over team from anything we've seen since KTP Season 1 here, and they have a lot of talent, and if they can scrim even just a little bit together, that team could get scary to play. But 25 on Till, 24 on Ana, 23 on Saka, 23 on Caffrey, and 20 on Kum going train. Just Icyat, as I said in the preseason preview, I felt like this is the season for Icyat to be the guys to do it. I really do think they've stayed active, they've kept the same team together, and they're continuing to be active too. Like, of all the scrims that I've played since whenever, like, all the Season 4 stuff started, they've all been against Icyat. And they look really good as a team. Just both individually and the way that they've gelled together, their ability to play their roles off of each other the right way, rather than just like, this guy's dominating right now and therefore they're winning, or this guy isn't dominating and therefore they're losing. Like, look at all the frag power on this team. Look at how many kills. That's 183 kills. That's 30 average per guy then. You got 6 players and 183 kills. You're looking at over 30 kills per player. And that's basically what it came out to. Like, it wasn't like someone had 60 and everybody else had 20. That's scary. That's a scary team to play. And in particular, the way that their play styles just play off of one another. They've got the right mix of play styles on both the automatic and the rifle side of things. I do think, like, this is going to be the team to beat this season. Obviously NSA, it could depend on who they end up having as their 6th, because I don't know if that's locked in. Don't know if it's supposed to be Debo or if they're looking for somebody else or what. So that could make that kind of like the big matchup to look forward to in the finals. But yeah, very curious to see Icyat continue to look like the best team in gold for the rest of the season. But that does it for the recap. 40 minutes, that's not the worst I've ever done. it certainly could have been worse. I've done worse before, I promise. So, all right. My throat is already fucked, I can tell you that. So, getting into the predictions. God, I need to try to not drone on forever just to hear the sound of my voice this time. We'll see. We'll see if I can pull that off. All right. Starting off in silver. Where is the scheduling? There it is. Okay, so here we go. What do we got here? Shut Up, We're Trying, Romario, the Saab Appreciation Society versus No-Go, Insomniac Gamers versus Nation, which is NOA, who we haven't got to see play yet, and 3H versus Spicy Butthole. I would say that that's probably the match of the week, realistically. That'll be an interesting one to watch. All right, let's just start off with NOA versus Insomnia. I mean, I'm going to be a little frank here because I need to make up some time on this Dodcast. I don't know shit about NOA. I think they play a different game. What is it, like Rust or something? So they do have experience gaming, but I don't know anything about them individually. I haven't seen them play at all. So, like, I have nothing to go off of. I don't even know any one of them from, like, having played with them in a draft or anything, so I can't even be like, this guy, you know, might be able to, like, carry them, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know, they're playing against Insomnia, too. Like, that is a rough first draw. I don't know if this team has gotten to scrim much together or not, but, you know, here they are. Oh, I can't really even do it because I'm not an admin anymore, so I don't have access to the, Google Doc, so I can't even just highlight it team by team. Whatever. That's NOA there in column number 9. You got iJab, Eclipse, Meep, Blue Cactar, Mouse, Straight, Sora, and Shuan. And then for Insomnia, I believe I need to scroll over to the side a little bit. No, they're right here. I'm fucking stupid. You got Sean, you got Head Like a Hole, 9, River Oyster, Hypnotic, Pibian, but then you've got also some other options here in Corey Price, Purdy, Bill Basad, and Corey Samples, which I still am just like, wow, Corey Samples back? Really? This is pretty fucking awesome. The original other Corey, along with Corey Price and I, that was like, you know, eventually CK was around too, but originally it was Corey Price, Corey Samples, and Corey Marco. So hopefully he'll pop up in a Discord or on a cast or something. But yeah, just to cut to the chase here, I mean, until I see NOA play, I can't say they have any chance of beating Insomnia. I can't say they have any chance of keeping it close. I don't know if they've even played DOD. I just know they played another game, and I forget which one it is. So if anyone has information, like screenshots to show me of these guys playing something, that would be helpful. But for the time being, just to cut a little bit of time off this, I'm just going to say Insomniac Gamers is going to win by 350. Like, you know, like what? That's like 6 caps on that map, I think. 6 caps? No. Yeah. Whatever. 350. That's what I'm going with. That sounds like about the right amount of Harrington points. And then I want to see them play. Like, I want to be able to watch these guys from their first match and see them get better and better. The way that CIS did. When CIS came, they were coming over from DOD Source. So at least it was like a DOD game, you know, something to have a real foundation on how to play the game in general and the way some of the shit works mechanically and stuff. But, you know, I mean, DOD has a pretty good skill curve. Like, there's no doubt that a team, if they want to put the time in to get better, they can. And we saw that with CIS. And I'd love to see it out of this NOA team too, but until I see them play at all, I can't make an educated guess. All I know is Insomnia is definitely a top 2 team in Silver this season. And all I know is NOA, as far as I know, have not ever played a DOD match together. So, Insomniac by 350. That's what I got to go with. It could be worse than that. It could be better than that. Maybe NOA's got some really fucking studly aimers on their team from the game that they play, and that would be awesome to see. DOD always needs more fresh talent injected into it, but no. You got to just figure, like, Sean's going to go off, Riv's going to go off, Pib's going to go off. Like, we'll see. I don't know, but yes. Insomniac Gamers by 350 points is my official prediction there. Moving over to the next matchup. I saved a little bit of time, I did. The Saab Appreciation Society versus No-Go. So this is going to be a pretty good game, I think. So on the Saab side of things, I did in the preseason not see Raven on the roster yet because I had an out-of-date roster list, but You got Scotty, looked really good in the first week. Manor looked really good in the first week. Toki looked really good in the first week. Yanni looked really good in the first week. Nightmare moved to a different class and got better as the game went on, and Kingyo looked great, especially on his Axis half. Is Raven going to play? I don't know. I have no idea what the schedules are like, but he's another guy that can fill in with literally any gun and be good. And then on the no-go side of things, I assume it'll be relatively close to the same lineup. They do have some guys that I think could fill in if needed, like Decaf and Miller, Mr. John Halloran of the Ninja and Pandemic fame, as well as like Skull or Bolt Cuts back in the SoCal End days, which you'd figure it's going to be Dedro, J-Rod, Saf, Spoon, Apple, and Matthew. So on Harrington, I know Saf, very good long player on Harrington. J-Rod, too, is a very good long player, but I'm guessing he'll go mid. Just because, you want to kind of, you want your biggest gun to be as close to mid as possible, as much as possible. So I'm guessing J-Rod will go mid with the car and the Garand. And he'll be going up against potentially a pretty tough mid team. I would assume it would be Scotty and Toki. I'm guessing Nightmare. I'm just going to guess that Nightmare's not sniping because he didn't snipe in week 1. So I'm just proceeding until I see or hear otherwise with Toki as the sniper and Nightmare is on a heavy or maybe a rifle depending on the map. So a Toki and a JN or a Toki. I think Kingyo will go long. Probably Toki and Scotty in mid unless they go with a third. Then it'll be JN. And you'll have Manor on Mountain, of course, with either JN or Scott or Raven, whichever one, is not the guy going mid. So I assume they'll flood mid. Kingyo is somebody who has been capable of handling long alone. You could even see just straight up Kingyo versus Sapphire on long and see everybody else between mid and mountain. So then you got a Matthew versus, or not, Dedro, at least was the sniper for most of the last game. So Dedro and Toki, Scotty versus J-Rod over there, and then like potentially Yanni and a Matthew as the other matchup to deal with on that side. And then heavy-wise, Apple was STG Garanding, so I'm not sure, like, is he supposed to be heavying? Who's supposed to be the other heavy with Spoon? All I know is Spoon is one of the best heavies in the silver and the game period. One of the most consistent heavies left in the game. There's not a lot of good heavies. I say it all the time. If there's any rifles or snipers that want to try to get better at heavying, please do. So I can stop talking about how there's not a lot of like really good heavies. When you see one, you gotta kind of, double take and be like, that might be the thing that makes the difference here, and that's what I'm gonna assume. Spoon on Mountain. Our Manor and whether it's JN or Nightmare would be the other heavy. So Manor and Nightmare versus Spoon, and I guess it would be Matthew. That's a pretty interesting heavy matchup. It could be Apple as well, since he was on the STG for those. That's the thing, is I'm a little confused about the classes for no-go because they switch so much. They could even be going map to map. I've seen Matthew snipe Harrington a lot. So it could just be Dedro on the other heavy and Matthew sniping from the jump on Harrington, which, again, isn't a bad idea. I know how comfortable Matthew is at sniping that map. Nightmare, I'm not sure how active he is, but if he's getting more reps in with the heavy again, like, it's going to be scary for everybody, because the guy's really good at DOD. He's just been sniping for the last few seasons. So once he's reacclimated to his original class as a heavy, it's going to be a problem for everybody. So yeah, just based off of the first week performance, I'm going to go with no-go by 17 points. Just looking at like the head-to-head matchups in each spot, but one strong performance out of the Saab Appreciation Society, like just one guy who can say like 10 more kills from what they did last week. That would be enough to make the difference. And it could be anybody. You could see Nightmare go out and get 70 kills this week on the heavies. You could see Manor do the same. Like I've seen Manor on this map especially have some really, really strong games. Yanni, same thing on any class. He's able to do it. Lots of versatility in classes between these guys. Like most of them can play any class. I think Kingyo might be the only like really pure rifle. I guess Scotty kind of is too. He's more of a rifle than anything, but like still you got a solid rifle team there, whatever. But yeah, it's going to come down to just getting like a little overperformance by any one person on Saab could be enough to turn it in their favor. And it'll come down to just defense, like defending against the caps on your Axis side. So who can do a better job on their rotates of preventing the bleeding from getting really, really heavy when they're on Axis? Because we all know Harrington, it's a slippery slope when you're on Axis. You give up one cap, then all of a sudden they get a triple nade kill off the initial, and then you've given up another cap 10 seconds later. It's ridiculous. So I'm going to say no-go by 17, but be on the lookout for Nightmare. If he's playing this week and he's heavying again, this guy is going to be dropping bombs on any class he plays sooner or later. Like, don't expect to see this guy go negative again. I'm just telling you now. Don't think Nightmare's a sniper, and if he's not sniping, that's going to be way easier. Like, no. Nightmare sniping, I think, was more doing people a favor because he had been heavying for a long time prior to that. You know, he was certainly, when I encountered him the first time, a heavy. So now he's kind of going back to what he was, and that could be worse news when all is said and done. So we'll see what happens with that game, but no-go by, let's say, 17. That's what I'm going to go with for now. So silver, silver, silver. Next game to do, we got Shut Up We're Trying versus Romario. Taking a look at the rosters here. For Romario, I know this week, as far as I've heard, it'll be Lobaton, Vanaki, Nat, LZL, Mand, and Rafinha. I don't think Byrne plays this week. At least that was as of their last match, what they had told me. So, and then on the other side of things, where are we? Shut Up, We're Trying. No. So on the other side, the lineup last week at least was Nicholson, Illusion, Big Willie Dose, Bo and G, I think might have switched in and out in their game. It looked like one played one half, one played the other. Trance and Aim Tech. So, I mean, obviously here, you're going to need Aim Tech and Illusion to have big games, right? Straight up. I expect they will. I don't think they'll have too big of a problem with that, but that's like just the bare minimum because, you know, you're dealing with a strong team here in Romario and a team that's been playing together for a long time and a team that understands how to play together. Shut Up, We're Trying. I'm not sure how much they've gotten to scrim together yet. I know they're all active players. It's just a matter of, like, I don't know if they've had team scrims together. They've got the ability to do it, though. Okay. They've certainly got the ability just to make up the difference in experience together just by the skill levels that they have on their players. But, I mean, this is a big ask. Romario is a hell of a team. We've seen them beat a lot of good teams on Harrington. Rafinha and Middleman, like, Jesus fuck, he's a beast. Dealing with Mand as well, like, Mand will just lock down mid-house on both halves. And then you got Vanaki on Mountain. Like, what are you going to do there? LZL, back and forth. He's kind of like that perfect anchor guy as a rifle, swapping upper connector and long or on allies, going back and forth, white steps and long on Axis. You know, and then Matt is obviously the more passive heavy with Vanaki. Like, he understands not just giving up the map control they have just to try to get that extra kill when his heavy partner's dead. Like, they really have a good team dynamic and understanding of how to play off of one another and shifting around the maps. So Shut Up, We're Trying. It's a tough task, and still early as a team here. The only way for them to really come out and take this game is with, like, massive performances by the guys on their team that are the best players. The Aim Techs, the Illusions. You know, Trance will get there the more he plays. You know, Nicholson, we've seen have a lot of good games. It'll come down to that, you know, like, can they all do it at once, I guess. If they can all have huge performances at once and just overwhelm them by just being gods for a game, you know, I expect Illusion will have 75 plus kills, and I expect Aim Tech will have, like, 65 to 70. You're going to need at least one other guy to do something similar here, to be able to break through that glue that Romario have just in team play. So, again, like, is that something very likely to happen, to have another guy come through and drop a 70 here for Shut Up, We're Trying? I don't know. Got to see the team play more together and see what they have to offer there. You know, maybe Pizza's playing this week. We've seen him have a lot of good games on casts over the years. Stark, somebody who's very capable of dropping bombs on heavy. But for the time being, I picked Romario to win silver this season. I got to pick him to win here. I think that the skill level of the players on Shut Up, We're Trying will be enough to keep it pretty close. It's not going to be, I'm not saying 350 points like the first prediction here. Like, I'm going to say Romario by, like, 150. and that could go up or down just based upon, like, every 10 kills that are got or not gotten for Shut Up We're Trying. But I fully expect to see both Illusion and Aim Tech go crazy. They're just going to need somebody else to do the same, because those two guys are so consistently good. For Romario, you got to figure Rafinha. I mean, he's just so fucking good. So is Vanaki. So is Man. They're all really good players. I think that those will be the three to end up leading the scoreboard frag-wise, at least. But you never know with that team. You've seen Burn do it a million times, where it's like this guy's using a Tommy and an Unter, and he's just top fragged in like a semifinals match on Lennon, or whatever. Or you see LZL go out and drop like a 45 on the Garand, They're very capable of having anybody go out and be their big premier player. But yeah, Romario, by say like one, on a map like Harrington, the strength of their Garands and their bars, I'm going to say 140, 150. I got to stop drinking that energy drink because I'd like to sleep tonight at some point. Okay. Let's see, the last game we've got to do here was the one that I said match of the week. I think that would probably be pretty unanimous if people were voting on it. 3H versus the Spicy Buttholes. Oh, I don't need to go to gold. What am I doing? Teams. So, here we go. 3H, I'm not positive what the lineup is going to be. Like, I know they have some questions about who can show up any given week, but just kind of spitballing it, I'm going to guess Defrag is back, first of all. So let's say Matt, CK, Austin, Defrag, Piff, and Warchild. Maybe the Bears getting in this week if someone's missing. But whoever the Bears replacing will be a very comparable fit. Like, if he needs to replace Johnny, I think he can rifle on par with that. If he needs to replace Austin, he can snipe on par with that. Whoever he would need to come in for. I think you're looking at the same overall team construction. So, like, just getting one of these players in place of somebody playing their first ever DOD match, like, and let me tell you something, I have played, this is the computer that match was played on. I don't know how anybody could get any kills on this computer, because my FPS was going from like 100 down to 50 over and over again. I felt like I was playing in 2003. So 3H, I think, going to be up with a big effort this week, but they run into a tough fucking team right away. You got Laura, Stealth, Twist, Stamp, Dillard, Die Life, but, I do believe that there's a little difference in the roster this week. Let me double check on what that was before I, say what I think it is. I have it confirmed. Okay, yes. So, they will be missing Dillard this week, so that is obviously not optimal for Spicy Butthole. They do have a good replacement, though, in Lynx. Great rifle, and especially being able to just throw him in the mix here while missing one of your dynamic duo riflers. So you're looking at Allura, Stealth, Die Life, Lynx, Stamp, and Twist. So yeah, this will come down, I think, matchup-based DOD once again. Where's everybody going to go? You got to figure Die Life's going to go mid. Certainly, he's always played mid since I've known him, which is good. Very good for Spicy Butthole when you've got Stealth and Die Life as your mid team. You could even send Laura along mostly alone and have Lynx, again, be that anchor player going back and forth to do that job. Something I know Dillard is also capable of doing. I know Lynx can do it too, so it's not like they're throwing somebody into the Lion's Den who isn't familiar with doing that job. But you figure like mid matchup of Stealth versus Austin and Die Life versus, would it be Warchild? Would it be Defrag? Would it be CK? I'm guessing CK would go long mostly, but I don't know. My iPhone just disconnected again. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It should come back momentarily. There it is. But yeah, so I think that overall it's a pretty even matchup. Obviously, it's a tough loss not having Dillard. Somebody who has been rock solid for them every single match. Like, the guy, I don't think has gone negative at all since he's been back in the game. The sniper matchup, this time I know it's the sniper matchup. We're not speculating about his nightmare sniping. Stealth versus Austin, it's kind of a classic sniper matchup. These guys have sniped against each other plenty over the years. That'll be a heavyweight battle in mid right there for sure. And on the heavy side of things, Twist and Stamp versus Modgers and Piff, I assume. So like I think that's a pretty good like the duos I think match up really well against each other. I think it's pretty even overall. Will Dillard not being there maybe be the difference that shifts things to 3H's side? I mean, I don't think Lynx is like some downgrade. He's somebody who's played forever and has always been really solid. I don't know how much he's been playing lately. I guess that would be one of the X factors to how this might go for them. I mean, just on that one thing alone, I would say like 3H by like 48, I'm going to say. Now, if Lynx has been playing a lot, like, that might go back in the other direction, right? If he's able to scrim I guess I say all week, the week is almost over. So I could have this information if I just asked around, I guess. But or if he hasn't been able to play at all, if he comes in rusty, that could make it more in 3H's favor, because filling in the shoes of Dillard is big shoes to fill. He's always putting up, like, between 65 and 80 kills. Him and Life, it's just every single week these guys are going off. I know Matt will go off again. Like, Life is going to have 70 to 80 kills going mid. And whether it's defrag on that assignment or CK just suicide-nading him over and over again, or the Bear or Warchild. I mean, Johnny, known Matt forever. Like, that might be the guy to throw at him in mid. Maybe he knows some of his tendencies. They've certainly played together forever, so that might be what I'd be thinking behind the scenes a little bit. I know CK is more of a long player. Defrag can do it all. He's another guy that's just like, you can put him on any class, on any route, and he's going to do really well. Again, I talked about this during the whole draft season that went on, where it was like, how is Defrag ever going in the last round? Defrag should be going in like the third round in those drafts, and somehow it lasted to the last round. I don't get it. The guy was one of the top, like, 4 players in whichever division he played in each season. And it'll be nice to see 3H with him back in the lineup this week. And I assume that's the lineup that it'll be. Modgers, CK, Austin, Defrag, Piff, and Warchild, which is a scary, scary lineup in Silver for sure. So, yeah, 3H I'm saying by 48 tentatively. Give or take 30 points in either direction depending on, like, how much activity level there is for each team this week. So that does it for Silver. That's the Silver match of the week, obviously. If I can find out when that's being played, I will cast it for sure. Because we don't play on Sunday, so if whoever's playing Sunday, assuming you're not at the same time as another game, I can cast it. So, moving on to Gold. What do we got here? I'll just start off Thunder versus Over, because it's my team. I never really get into predictions on that very much. Thunder versus Over. Good luck, have fun. It's Harrington. We've played each other on Harrington millions of times. I don't know what our lineup is going to be. If we had played Sunday like we were originally talking about, it would have been like me, Jules, Ace, John Gale, Dorito, and J-Rod ringing. But I think we're not playing Sunday anymore because, like, Dorito's just getting back from a long trip and it's jet lag. He can't play. I know Jared can't play. Ryan can't play. Grant can't play. So I think we're playing another day. And for Over, it'll be pretty much the same team as last week. I don't assume that Moore or Demon will play much. I assume Moore would play more than Demon, but it's going to be like Till, Anna, Saka, Mata, Kumkum, and Caffrey. Caffrey being back spells disaster for heavies everywhere. Just go back and watch the cast against Icy Out. The guy, again, not only looked like he hadn't lost his step, but looked like he had improved while not playing DOD. Maybe that's the secret that none of us have gotten here. Like, more time away from DOD is better for the DOD. I don't know. We'll see, though. Good luck, have fun, Over. We always play close scrims with those guys on Harrington, so I suspect it'll be frustratingly stressful for me. Hopefully I'll be sniping again, but I'm guessing not quite yet. I don't know. We'll see. And then on to the next one. We've got, we know what the match of the week is here after seeing that. So Clinic versus Chill Pill, first off. Clinic, you got some comp, because this is a lineup that I'm not as certain about as other teams. I know Carpenter will always be playing whenever he's available. Same with Vic, same with Insam, same with Sam. And then, like, they like to swap guys in and around. Like, Tom can play all 3 classes, and, like, sometimes he's in on one class or the other. Alan can play any class. He was heavying last week. Is he playing again? Element, is he going to get in? Because that immediately makes them even scarier. Like how does the lineup play out? I'm going to guess Candyman, Suave, Carpenter, Murison, Insam, and Allen, the team that played last week. Maybe Element's going to go in at heavy for Allen. Maybe he's going to go in rifle for Suave or Insam. I don't know. I have no idea. But we'll see. For Chill Pill, you got Arachnid, Chi, Booten, Gall, Baron, Timo, DB, and Ben Insane. These last two, I think, are the guys who aren't playing, as far as I know. Maybe this week it'll be different, but certainly that was the lineup last week. Arachnid sniping, Chi, Booten, Gall, Baron, and Timo, which is, again, a really good lineup. That rifle team is quite strong. I don't know if maybe... did I check to see what class people were playing? Let me see here. Do we have the classes on those screenshots? No, we don't. Never mind. I was going to say, because last week I was unsure about who was heavying for that team. I might have gotten a message about that, actually. Let me double check. Yes, okay, so heavying, Booten and Chi, rifles, Gall, Timo, Baron on the third, and then Arachnid sniping. So that clears that up. Booten, I did say in the preseason, like, he's somebody who has heavied for sure before, so it makes sense to throw him in there with Chi. I like that heavy team a lot, actually. Letting Booten off the leash a little bit, where he can just kind of like run around and be explosive, movie clip kind of player, where, Chi will be rock solid behind him. Keeping Timo on a rifle, too, where he can have 2 grenades. Like, I think that's the best move overall for that team. So, Harrington. Interesting. This is interesting. Heavy-wise, Booten and Chi versus potentially, and not positive, but potentially Murison and Allen. Maybe Vic and Element. I don't know. Looking at it that way, though, again, I think it's a matchup that is good on paper for both sides. Like, you can feel pretty good about it on either side, either team here, about who you're matching up against there. On Harrington, there's a lot going on, so sometimes it can come down to just delegating well with your heavy partner, which is something that I have seen all 4 of these players do. But again, I don't know, what's the lineup going to be for Clinic? It's so tough to tell because they're all like starters. The only guy, Nick Wanka, that I'm thinking isn't going to play. It's like the only guy in that roster that I think probably doesn't show up this week. But on the Chill Pill side, Booten is a guy who you know is going to go off at some point in any given match. Baron, is Baron going to go long with Timo? Is Timo going to go mid? I know Colin can solo long. Done it a million times. Gall is certainly a more classic mid player on both halves. He kind of plays like the same routes that I do as a rifle. And then Arachnid, of course. Arachnid and Carpenter. This is another really big sniper matchup on a map that is very interesting for 2 snipers to battle each other. It's kind of like you gotta deal with each other on this map. Chillpill had a really, really strong showing last week against NSA. Obviously, NSA missing somebody. But still, they look really, really good just based on the screenshots. I didn't get to watch the match, so for all I know, it was just a completely messy match and whatever. But they look good. Clinic, just still trying to figure out what their roster is going to be. Until I see, are they using Element and what class they're using them on? Is Tom playing, is he going to snipe? Is he going to heavy? Is Carp going to play a different class? I know Carp has wanted to play different classes for, seasons and seasons. I know Clinic is as sick of scrimming DOD as Thunder is. I'm going to go with Chill Pill this week. It's tough to ever pick against Clinic, to be honest with you, because I've seen them beat Thunder. I can assure you. I saw this up close and personal. And when they're you know what, we're going to fucking play DOD this week, and we're going to play it hard, they can easily beat anybody. They have a lot of, I think, underrated players on that team. You just don't realize how good some of these guys are, especially when they're really active. This is a team that could be godlike on a moment's notice. I just know they aren't really trying to play much DOD right now. understandably. It's been a big grind for the last 18 months. We're in the same boat. So I'm going to go with the fact of inactivity here, kind of playing more in the hands of Chill Pill. I think Arachnid and Carpenter kind of ends up a wash. Each of them will have a good half, both halves, I think. They'll both go off on big, long streaks. I think heavy-wise, it'll just come down to who can aggress to ladder more through their Axis side. Because, Allied side, you expect to win that heavy battle most of the time. Who can do the most getting map control for both Mountain and their mid-team on Axis, which I'm going to assume that Chill Pill will do that for now, but who knows, man. Alan and Vic are no slouches, and they could easily go off and just control Mountain and lock it down for the entire game. And that would make it very easy for Clinic to take advantage of that, and they would know how to. As a team, that's something that is like, it's an acquired skill. You can't just be like, we have Mountain, so that's good, we got everything else. Like, no, you have to be able to work off of that map control. And then, Gaul versus an Insom, it's like, there's a lot of very much dead-even matchups here. Head-to-head, Baron and Teemo versus Candyman and Suave, or Tom, or Element, like whatever the matchup is. It's super even. Let's just say Chill Pill by like 64. 64, I like that. I think it's going to be 64. I'm calling that right now. But, again, it can come down to anything. Activity, somebody not showing up for a match, whatever. It could go any way. That's what I'm going with, though. Chill Pill by 64. And then the last match I have to do, how deep in the hole am I here? An hour and 11 minutes. I'm going to make this 115. I'm calling it right now. 115. Match of the week, NSA versus Icy Hot. I am telling you this is a preview of the grand finals. I'm already telling you that. Just believe me. Just remember me saying this. These are the two best teams in gold, period. Unless Thunder decides that they are going to start scrimming and have a consistent lineup. But I don't see that happening. We play CS2 way too much, and I play too much Quake. So, for NSA, again, not sure on this lineup. PDX, Taylor, Leo, Patton, and Bud, for sure. Beyond that, I don't know. They had Caleb play last week. Is Debo supposed to be that sixth? I don't think Evan has played since Season 2, so I don't expect he's going to pop back up, but maybe. Are they picking somebody else up? I don't know. But those five are really the ones that matter. That's the core of that team. Whoever they slot into that sixth slot is just going to have to mesh with those five and be able to do whatever job it is they need them to do and work with their sort of shifting around the map, covering each other play style. It's a very constant on-the-move play style, which is what makes them so successful. Understanding where they need to rotate and when, being able to work off of each other, whether it be through good communication or just understanding their teammates. But yeah, and Icy Hot, Sick seems to be back this week. I'm not sure what this lineup is supposed to be here, because they have fucking, is it Sick and Vertex and Kanga? Is it Sick and Vertex and Justin Lynch? Is it Sick and Kanga and Justin Lynch? Is it Vertex and Sick and Justin Lynch? Is Justin Lynch maybe playing and heavying? Is B's going to be there? I don't know. Whatever combo of 6 players they have from this team, it doesn't matter. It's the same. Whether you have Sick playing or you have Justin playing, or even if you have Scott thrown into the lineup there, I'm guessing he's not going to play much, but yeah, whichever 6 they've got. This is Harrington. Now, this is kind of the specialty map for NSA over the seasons. I don't like to play them on this map, I can tell you. However, I also did just play against Icy Hot on this map, and didn't like that much either. So I think maybe they've kind of figured out the way to play Harrington to counter that. Just based on what I experienced in that scrim, it seemed like they were able to sort of replicate the way that NSA are able to be successful on Harrington, which I think could be very, very good for Icy Hot. If they can do that and make Harrington a big map for them the way that it already has been for NSA over the last few seasons, and especially if they can match up directly with them on that map and beat them, I mean, that just ices it even more for me that Icy Hot's going to go and win gold this season. It's so tough to pick against NSA ever, but I don't know what the lineup is. I don't understand what's going on if they're picking up a 6th, or if maybe P12 is coming back, or is Debo supposed to be active and he just missed week 1. Are they just planning on having like a rotating 5 and using a ringer every week until playoffs? I have no idea. I don't want to pick against NSA because it's Harrington, and like there's a reason that we eliminated this map against him every best of 3. We never ever banned out a map besides Harrington. That was the automatic veto against them. But I got to go with Icy Hot. I think the pickup of Justin Lynch really just banging home that 7th guy. Like, no matter who they're missing, no matter what class they're missing, Justin Lynch is a sniper. And it's not even really his best class. Like, he could go snipe for them and easily top frag any match, but he could also go rifle for them and easily top frag. He could go 3rd rifle and easily top frag. He can go heavy and easily top frag. I think that pickup was, like, low-key the best pickup there was in all of KTP this season. And I just think after scrimming against them last night, I think the way that they're playing Harrington currently is a good matchup against NSA and the way that they play Harrington. Also, I don't know who the 6 are for NSA. If you tell me, like, Debo is going to be the 6th there, I don't know what I'm predicting then, but he didn't play last week, and I know he doesn't like playing in gold. So, is he going to play? Or is this just like he's on the roster until playoffs? I don't know. I'm going to go with Icy Out for the time being, though, mostly because of question marks around NSA for the time being. But if they do plan on having Debo be active and be their 6th going forward, like, that's a very fucking scary team. And I think you could see, like, the most exciting finals that there's been in these KTP seasons between those two lineups. Like, that's fucking 12 really good players. There's not a hole in either of those lineups. And they're both teams that have gotten really good at playing with each other as a whole, being able to rotate around classes and routes on a dime and make it work. So, I don't know. I'm going to go with Icy Out for now. They were the team that I picked to win gold this season, so I'm going to stick to my guns there. I think Vertex, he had, 100 kills against us literally last night. I'm not exaggerating. And Sick both will have big games here. And then the Heavies are going to have to be very strong. That's where the holes could come in. If the Heavies of NSA get going, and they are very good at finding holes on this map, whether it's Taylor and Bud, or PDX and Bud, or PDX and Taylor, maybe Taylor's car barring, whatever, like that, those guys going mountain are a bitch to deal with, and Icy Out's going to have a plan to get around that. If they do, and they can execute that plan, and not let themselves get locked down at the mountain house spawn or at the bridge spawn, they'll be fine. But that's where the match could turn around against them. We saw them play each other in playoffs last season. Icy Out looked great on Harrington against them. I don't know. We'll see. That's going to be, I think, the key area, though, is mountain house side. Both teams understand when they need to flood that side very well, and it's going to be about who can take advantage of turning those defensive holding out situations into offensive cap outs, like reverse capping. Yeah. Going to go with Icy Out by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Best heavy in Cal invite. That's it. We're done. I don't know how long this went. Hour 17, that's not too bad. I've done worse, I think, right? Like 2 hours before. Yeah, I've had some bad ones. So, everybody, let me know when your games are. We don't play this Sunday, so I'll have more time to cast. I know there's some at 3 already. At least one will be at 9, but give me the heads up when your shit is, and I'll make sure I can come cast it. So, have a good rest of your week. It's Friday night, so I'll see you in like 48 hours. Peace. KTP. I gotta remember to upload this now, too. Shit. Damn.